Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks with another new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me today is the very talented cosplayer, Charles the Champ Nelson. How you doing today, Charles?
Doing good. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me on a new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? I really appreciate you joining me today. How's your day going today?
Fantastic. Cannot complain.
Hey, I love it, man. So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Charles, something that we do here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, every hero or villain has an origin story. So tell everybody, who is Charles the Champ Nelson?
Well, first of all, I'm born and raised in Houston. See, I'm representing the Astros. You can tell I'm 30 years old. I'm an actor. I'm cosplayer. I'm a fitness model, and I've been doing fitness for the past 12 years. Got into acting when I was 15.
Nice.
And then I got into professional acting by the time I was 28 years old. And I fell into cosplaying by accident, actually, 8 years ago.
8 years ago. Nice. It's always awesome, like when you hear how somebody got into cosplay. So when you said that you fell into it by accident, like what was the accident? Was it kind of like when Professor Utonium, he hit the chemical X and the Powerpuff Girls was created? Is that how Charles Champ Nelson was created?
You could say that metaphorically, in a way. It was more like I was invited to go to OniCon back in 2013 by two friends of mine. And I always tell them that I thank them for this, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am now. So They invited me to go, and they told me about cosplaying, which I've never heard of it before. I didn't know what it was, but I heard of Comic-Con. I just didn't know what cosplaying was. So they asked me if I want to go with them. So I said, okay. And I'm just going thinking, not knowing what I'm about to get myself into. It was just one of those shoot the breeze type of things.
Yeah.
It was that moment when you open the door. It's like going into Disneyland for the first time. It's like, oh my God, what is this? Yes, is this real? It was like my inner child just woke up. And when I saw, what really hit me was when I saw a guy in a Spider-Man suit just walking across the way from me, and I could not help myself. I ran up to him. I said, "Oh my God, you're Spider-Man. Can I have a picture of you?" And he said, "Yes." And his suit was something you would see at a grocery store, but I didn't care what it looked like. It was the fact that he was Spider-Man, and I just ran to him. And I saw all these other characters walking around me, and I'm just like, "Oh my God, this is a thing?
Yeah,
this is really a thing." And I just fell into it, and ever since then, I was hooked.
Man, that's awesome. Like how you said, it was like walking into Disney World. It's like you're seeing like all of these cool people in these costumes, and it's just like, man, like this is what I want to do. Now, I do want to talk about some of the other stuff that you named that you did before you got into cosplay, because like you're pretty much a jack of all trades. It's like you have your hand in a little bit of everything. So I wanted to ask you, the first time that I saw you was last year, and you were in your Captain America cosplay. And I remember somebody had shared the post on Facebook, somebody that was pretty much, being racist towards you because you were cosplaying as Captain America. And when I saw that, like I commented on, I'm just like, man, like you look badass. Like, F this guy for saying what he said about you. And I just wanted to ask you, like, when that moment happened to you, like how did you bounce back from that? And I know you had like a bunch of love and support from like people from all over that you didn't know, but like how did that affect you, and how did you bounce back from that?
Well, honestly, it shocked me because I shared that post in honor of, actually, it was in honor of Pride Month. Because when I took that photo back in 2018, and if you look closely, you could see the pride flag and the American flag in the background, and I was also representing what was going on at that time with the Black Lives Matter protests. And we had so much craziness going on in 2020 last year. 2020 was a crazy year. Yeah. So I was just making my stand with my cosplay to say that I stand with everyone, no matter who you are. If people in the Black community are suffering, I stand with them, because I know what it feels like to go through racism and being stereotyped, all that. I know how it feels. And with anyone else that felt harassed or judged, no matter what community they came from, I stood with them. So I was just making a post, just make my statement. And that one guy just made that unnecessary comment. And when he said what he said, it kind of shocked me, because I was just thinking, wow, he's so bold to do that behind his phone. And
exactly.
He had the audacity to come say that to me. I mean, I get it, everyone has their opinion, and that's them, but you're not going to make everyone happy, no matter how hard you try, no matter what cosplay you put on, even no matter what you say, somebody's going to get upset about it. So I was just pointing out that me as a Black cosplayer, I know I'm not the only one that goes through this, because Black cosplayers, when they cosplay characters that are not originally Black, they somehow get harassed by other cosplayers, just other general people. And I was just sharing my story, saying, look, you're not alone. I go through this too. Mm-hmm. And I was very surprised with how much love and support I got, which really touched my heart. And I wanted to continue proving to say, look, no matter what character you pick, no character is off limits. Even if, if somebody who is white, who wants to cosplay a character who is Black without having to go through crazy alterations to make themselves look Black, I still respect them for doing it, because they're honoring the character and they were touched by that character. So say cons are opening back up this year. Say somebody who is white wants to cosplay Sam Wilson's Captain America without altering themselves, like that.
Without doing blackface, you can say it.
Without doing blackface. If they want to do it, then that's them. I'm happy that they're doing it, because they have love for the character and they were touched by that character. Just saying that we can touch anybody of any background, of any world. So
man, I 100% agree with you on everything that you just said, because with cosplay, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be for everyone to do. And one of the things that I love that you had said was that, if you aren't a person of color and you want to cosplay as a person of color, you can cosplay as that character and I would still know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like if I saw somebody that was white and they were wearing a wig that they were wearing dreads and they had 2 machetes, I would know that they're Michonne. You know what I'm saying? That. And it's all about the presentation and what you're trying to do. And also too, like playing the part of the character, you know what I'm saying? Because like that's what cosplay as well, because when you cosplay as a character, you're not yourself, you're playing that character. So, like having the mannerisms of that character and whatnot, it goes a long way. And people, like, they know who you're cosplaying, without you having to, put on makeup to make yourself look like this person, because you'll never see a person of color put on some makeup so that way that their skin can be white. You know what I'm saying? It's just they just cosplay the character and that's it. And that's one of the things that kind of irritates me, because it never happens in person. You know what I'm saying? It's like you never hear anybody, saying that, oh, you shouldn't cosplay this person in person or anything like that. It's always people online that do that. Yeah. And because of social media, it gives everybody a platform to say what they want to say. But the thing is, they would never say that to you in person. And it's messed up that
some bold people will try to say it in person. I had people try to say it to me in person a couple times. And then it's just in those moments when they try to say it to my face in person, I can get a little shocked. It's just like, oh, you really are that bold. Okay. Yeah. And then I'll respond with my point and I'll say, okay, this is where you're wrong. This is why you are choosing to be ignorant.
Yeah.
Which is why you shouldn't be. But that's only like on some small occasions. But at the end of the day, like I said, you can't make everybody happy. Just do you.
Yeah, that's true. And I appreciate you for doing that, because that's something as well where it's like a lot of people who do cosplay, it's like some of them are introverts. So it's like when it comes to confrontation and stuff like that, it's like they don't know how to handle that situation. But when you do have some people like how you said that are bold and want to say something, and then they came up to you and you just like, nah, you got the wrong one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you put them in their place. They're just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So, hey, pinky's up to you for standing up for what you believe in and for doing everything that you want to do when it comes to cosplay. And also, too, now that we're kind of moving away from the cosplay topic, I wanted to mention that I noticed that you're cosplaying as the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena. And I just wanted to say, hey, that's an awesome cosplay that you're doing right now. So are you a huge wrestling fan?
Yes, I am. I actually got into wrestling when I was 8 years old. Nice. It was the time during the Attitude Era, and I didn't I saw what it was, but I didn't get a chance to really know everybody, like, by name. I knew who The Rock was. I knew who Stone Cold was because it was really popular at the time in 1999, 2000s, all that, when the Attitude Era was blown up. Yeah. So I pulled away from it for a little while because I just didn't get a chance to watch it. And then I got back into it in 2006, what some hardcore wrestling fans call the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yep.
So it was when DX, John Cena, Batista, King Booker, and Bobby Lashley, all those people were like really popular at that time. So that's when I really got into it and I started to know who everyone was. And then that allowed me to go back to watch some of the older stuff that I could find, because that's when YouTube blew up at the time in 2006. Yeah. So I could easily go back on YouTube and type da-da-da-da-da-da, and I could see that. So in regards to John Cena, at the time he was a polarizing figure because some people loved him, some people hated him, but everybody seemed to love him when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Exactly.
And I wish I watched him during that time when it was actually airing on TV, but I didn't because I didn't know about it. But when I went back on YouTube and I saw his old stuff, it kind of resonated with me because I wasn't the most confident person in the world. I had a lot of things I wanted to say, but I just didn't know how to say it or how to get it out. But when I saw the way Cena walked into the ring and he would just do this, just have that swag, that charisma he carried, it kind of just, the more you watch something, the more it starts to kind of transfer to you in a way. Yes, yeah. You see it so much and then it just comes out. So over time, like the more I watched it, the more I found my own voice. And I was always inspired by Cena, by his message of never give up. I actually have his armband on my arm. I went all the way. If you can read it, it says never give up. Yeah. And I use that to get through life, because especially not just through life, but with cosplay, with your job, with anything you choose to do, you do not give up. If you go through criticism, you go through people telling you, oh no, don't cosplay this character, or you don't have the finances to go to an event or have the money to buy a cosplay suit that you really want. At the end of the day, if you still want it, you don't give up. You find another route. You still keep going. You have that goal in mind, you go get it.
No, but I 100% agree with you. And that's one of the things that I love about wrestling because, growing up, I got into the Attitude Era towards the end of it, like in the late 90s. And, it was one of the things just seeing The Rock in action and then like seeing guys like how you mentioned, John Cena, Bobby Lashley. One of my favorites was MVP during that time.
Ooh, I love that dude.
These are the guys who inspired me to want to, take the step to get into professional wrestling. And just how you said with cosplaying, John Cena, he helped motivate you into never giving up. And that's the same thing like with and like giving you confidence and whatnot into doing stuff in your everyday life. And I'll say that people always ask me like, how are you so approachable? How are you able to talk to so many people? And wrestling, it helped me do that because before that I was I talked a lot, but it's like I only talked to people who I knew. But once I got into professional wrestling, it helped boost my confidence tenfold. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
And because of that, it's like now, like I talk to everybody. Like I got friends all over the world now and whatnot. and wrestling, along with I'll say anime as well, because you can watch an anime like one of my favorite animes right now is My Hero Academia. You see, I got my boy Deku here, and Deku is somebody that is relatable to anybody that has been told that they shouldn't do this, or it's like you need to do this instead, or like they joke you because of something that you want to do. Deku never gave up on his dream of wanting to become a hero, and now he has a quirk and he's on his way to being the best hero in the world. So it's the same thing like with us as people in life, where it's just like, if you want to do something, like how you said, never give up. And like I have this tattoo on my arm that says hope, because it's like we all have hope in us, and as long as you never lose hope, you can accomplish anything and everything that you set out to do in life. So I love how this is like kind of being like a motivational, inspirational episode. So hey, Charles, I do appreciate you for setting us on this path. Now, let me ask you, since John Cena is your favorite, what is your favorite John Cena match that he's been in?
Oh, okay. All right. That's a hard one. It's hard to pick just one. Now, if you want to go by, it's so hard, because he actually, no lie, he actually has some good matches. I'll admit he may not be the most technical guy in the ring. He may not be the smoothest, but when it comes to storytelling, he can tell a great story. If I had to pick his best wrestling opponents that will bring out the best in him, I can give you 4 names. CM Punk, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, who else? AJ, actually 5. AJ Styles and Edge. That's 5.
Yeah, I agree with all of those names that you mentioned, man. It's like all of those feuds that he had. I mean, you can even throw Batista in there.
True. I like their chemistry together in regards to when it comes to their promos, because they both came up at the same time.
At the same time, yep. Who's that cosplayer?
Adorable cosplayer.
And just to see like the different paths that they went on with Cena, starting on SmackDown and then finally winning the belt, and going to Raw, and then making a bigger name for himself over there. And then Batista starting on Raw and Evolution, and then going to SmackDown, and then making a name for himself over there. It's just crazy, because it's like when you think of them, it's like they started on these brands, but it's like they came into their prime when they went to the opposite brands. So that's cool. I love the choices that you listed, because it's like Cena, he had so many amazing matches with those people that you named. I want to move on and ask you, because you said like you're into fitness, you're into modeling, acting. Like, tell us, like, what was the inspiration that led you to want to get into acting?
Acting is something I fell into when I was a kid. My grandma always loved movies. So if I had to say what really started, I had to say my grandmother, because she was a big movie collector. Actually, I take it back. It was my grandmother and my father and my mother. For those three people, for 3 different reasons. My grandmother collected a lot of movies, a lot of them. Like any movie that came out in the 90s, whether it was a kid movie, an action movie, or a black storytelling movie, or any type of drama, my grandma had it. My dad, me and my dad would go to the movies all the time. We would go see me and my dad love popcorn movies. It's like those big, awesome popcorn movies. And I also say it's because of him. I never told him this, but I'm going to definitely tell him now. He took me to go see Spider-Man when it came out in 2001. Was it 2001? Yeah. 2001, 2002. 2002. The first Spider-Man.
I think it was 2001. I think it was.
Was it? I think it was. We saw that, and then that ignited. I already liked Spider-Man, but that ignited my love for Spider-Man. And we saw all the superhero movies that came out at the time. And then going up to Iron Man, which led to what is now the famous Marvel Cinematic Universe. We saw those movies, and it's a tradition me and him still have. And for my mother, I watch my mother's personality. My mom is very charismatic. She has this fire about her, and she can talk to people. She is very professional. She's very smooth. She's charming, she's charismatic, and they say sometimes you can become your parents as you get older.
Yep.
And And I got a lot of my personality from my dad and my mom. But my mom was the one that always told me, you know what, you should go into acting. You can be kind of dramatic sometimes. And she was joking with me. She was joking. So when I thought about it, I said, you know what, I love movies. So it would be cool to see myself on the big screen one day. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna give acting a try. So so I got into theater acting when I went into college.
Ooh, nice.
So I did theater, I did stage acting, and I got my seasoning over there in regards to learning how to perform on stage, learning how to project my voice, learning how to speak your full sentences all the way through. And I had a long break from acting because I couldn't find any work here in Houston. So I gave up on that for a while. And then this is another reason why I love cosplay, because when I got into cosplay, I sort of realized that cosplaying is just like acting.
Yep.
It's just like acting. So I took this as acting practice. So any character I put on, I try my best to become that character or embody that spirit of that character, whether it's Captain America, it's John Cena, it's me playing a Viking, or so on and so forth. I try to ignite that spirit. And I found people within that community that were doing fan-made films.
Yeah.
So I would help with their stuff, and then that transitioned to me getting acting roles professionally. Nice. So I thank cosplay for giving me that chance to find acting again.
Nice. Now, I wanted to piggyback off of what you had said about you getting into theater. We interview a lot of voice actors on the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, and like that's one of the things that they always tell us is it's like they were in theater growing up, and like even when they went to college, they just stayed into it. And being in theater, it really plays a huge part in kind of getting into voice acting, because you already know what you need to do. And bro, you live in Texas. You live in I like to say the capital of the world for voice acting. Funimation is there. And I mean, like you speaking right now, like you're very charismatic. Like how you said, you learned how to, make your voice louder when you're on stage. It's just like, I think that you should shoot your shot and trying to get into voice acting, man. Because like I said, every voice actor that we've interviewed, they've all said that, yeah, like I was in the theater, and it's like voice acting was a lot easier to get into than acting, because I knew the cues and stuff that I needed to hit in order to do the voice acting stuff. So hey, it's just a suggestion for me. If you do make it into voice acting and then you're in Dragon Ball Super or My Hero Academia, just be like, yeah, I was on this interview called Who's That Cosplayer, and Benjamin Banks, he told me about it. And then like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we know Benjamin Banks, we've been on his podcast. And then it's gonna be one full circle, like the circle of life, like they do in The Lion King.
Oh, I thank you, I appreciate that. I will definitely consider it, because I do love watching cartoons, and my dream one day would be to do a voice acting role for a Disney movie.
Nice.
I would love to do that. I would love to do it, because I may be 30, but I'm still a big kid at heart. So I still get that childlike feeling when I watch Disney movies still.
Now, this is interesting, because just the other night I was talking with one of my friends, and we were talking about Disney movies, and I can't remember which Disney movie. Oh, she had asked me, had I ever watched Hunchback of Notre Dame? And I hadn't seen that movie since I was a kid. So we just started talking about Disney and our top 5 Disney movies. So to everybody that's watching right now, what are your top 5 Disney movies of all time?
Oh, okay. I got you. Now if I'm going down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, top 5 of all time. Dang it. Yeah, you got me. Okay.
Hey, this is what I do on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. I ask the hard questions that the people want to know.
Yeah, because I'll think like, oh, I got you. And then when I think about it, it's like, oh shoot. Okay, Moana. I love Moana.
Okay.
Moana, I love the soundtrack. It's beautiful. It's a great story. Believe it or not, I actually liked Raya and the Last Dragon. I just watched that the other day.
That was a really good movie.
It really was. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Princess and the Frog. I love that one because of the culture and the atmosphere. It really was authentic and it felt genuine.
Yeah.
That's the Oh boy, it's hard to pick a second one. I already know my top favorite for sure. This is a tough one. I want to say Pocahontas just because I love the soundtrack. With that, but despite, even though it's not accurate, we know the story's not accurate.
No, you're right. You're right. It's crazy. I was just telling her last night that like nobody ever talks about Pocahontas, and here you go saying, yeah, Pocahontas is in my top 5.
Hey, I mean, I love the movie before I got older and found out the real story, and then it kind of tainted it for me a bit. But then when I went back and watched it, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend I did not know about that story. And just watch what Disney was just trying to tell. And my top favorite Disney movie of all time is The Lion King.
I knew it was gonna be The Lion King. It's just like, if you do not have The Lion King in your top 5, it is an issue. The Lion King is in my top 5 too. It's a classic. I still get teary-eyed when Mufasa's hanging on that cliff and we already know what's gonna happen next.
Yes, it does the same for me. I know that whole movie by heart, like to the point where you were talking about voice acting. Believe it or not, I could recite some of the scenes from that movie with the voicing and all that. Because I watched it too many times, it got to the point where it's like auto-programmed in my brain.
Yeah. No, bro, I'm the same way. It's like with certain movies, like for me, My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising. Like, I saw that movie so many times. It's just like whenever my friends come over and I'm just reciting lines from the movie as like we're watching it, they're just like, how many times have you seen this movie? I was just like, a lot. But yeah, for me, my top 5 Disney, in no particular order, is Mulan, Goofy Movie, Hercules, Aladdin.
I didn't say Goofy Movie. Dang
The Lion King. A Goofy Movie is a classic. And also, too, we had Jason Marsden on our podcast. So anybody that's watching this right now, look up the episode where we had Jason Marsden. It is on YouTube and it is on where you can listen to a podcast on music apps and whatnot. So, but yeah, Goofy Movie is definitely up there, man. It's fun. The music is good. That's the one thing I love about Disney movies is the music in all of them. It's like they make these classical songs and it's just like people just sing them. Like whenever I would go to parties and they would have karaoke, we singing Disney songs, man.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I could listen. I love a Goofy Movie, so I could listen to that soundtrack on repeat and I would not get bored of it.
Hey, it's like, I know Kevin Campbell, he's done a lot of stuff, man, but nothing touches the Goofy Movie stuff. When he did the Powerline stuff and Eye to Eye.
Oh, that's a classic.
So
that is a classic.
I wanted to ask you, when you're, just relaxing, you're not cosplaying, you're not acting, like what are some things that you like to do? What are some of your hobbies that you enjoy doing in your free time?
I'm always in the gym. I'm always in the gym. If I'm not, if I don't have an acting gig, or if I'm not cosplaying, I'm in the gym.
Nice.
I'm in the gym. Nice. The gym is what I consider my form of therapy. So if I had like a long day at work, or if I'm just exhausted, if I got a lot on my mind, I can go to the gym and I can, in a way, I can express myself by lifting weights and just letting all that out and just getting into that zone. Because I honestly feel that when you're in the gym and you're working out, you unlock something that you need to let out. You just get in that zone, you focus on what you're doing, and you put in the work. And then after the consistency of doing it, it's going to pay off just through seeing how you present your body.
No, I agree, man. It's definitely a place of business. And it is a place where, like if I'm ever depressed or I'm not feeling good or anything, I just go straight to the gym and just can be there for like 3 to 4 hours, man. And it's like the pandemic, it did definitely take a toll on everyone because the gyms were closed. So it's like you had to figure out how to work out from home and whatnot. But now that the gyms are open and things are kind of slowly moving back to normal, when it's finally open 24 hours again, like I'll be happy, because it's like, bro, like I would be in there, I would get there at 10 o'clock and be leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I
I
I
hear
need the
you.
gyms to be open 24 hours again, because the gym, it is my second home. It's my true love. It's just like you go there, like you said, it unlocks something. You put some music on, you doing cardio, you watch something on your phone, because I'm not watching the stuff that they have on the TVs at the gym. When I'm at the gym, I need something that's going to motivate me, something that's going to get me hyped. Me watching they're showing on the Home Garden Network isn't going to make me hype when I'm working out at the gym.
Now, I mean, you're not watching somebody do garden work. You're like, oh yeah, this is gonna inspire me to go lift this 60-pound bar.
Yeah, like sometimes they'll have it on the cooking channel. I'm just like, I'm not trying to watch food when I'm working out. Like I'm just trying to work out. I'm trying to relax. I'm just trying to be in my zone. Now, to kind of take it back to the cosplay stuff. I want to say sometime last year, I was at a mall here in Norfolk, VA, and I was sitting down eating my food, and I looked up, and like there was this store across from me, and like I just saw that they had cosplayers pictures like in their shop, and it's like I remember I was eating my food, and I looked up, and I was just like, "Yo, is that Charles?" And I dropped my fork, and I went over there, and I was just like, "Yo, this is him." And I tagged you in on post on Facebook. I was just like, "Yo." It's like you're all the way in Texas, and like you are here in my hometown, and like how did that feel? Because you didn't even know about that.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I was approached about it during the pandemic. Someone asked me if I would like to present some cosplay photos to be presented in the library, and I said, okay, cool. All right, yeah, no problem. So I emailed them some of my photos of my favorite cosplays, and I didn't know how it was gonna look. I forgot about it actually. So when you tagged me in it, I I looked at my phone and you said, "Hey Charles, I see you," and I looked. I'm like, "What the?" And I'm like, I'm on display at a library, and I'm thinking like, "When did I sign up for this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And the fact that it's in another state, that was beautiful. It was amazing. And it wasn't just me, it was other cosplayers too that got that wonderful opportunity, because it gives a chance to grow in other states. Because I've only been cosplaying here in Texas for the past 8-9 years. I would love to go to conventions outside of Texas one day. I would love to go to Comic-Con in LA, or New York Comic-Con in New York City, or a Dragon Con in Atlanta, Georgia, or Blurred Con further up north. I would love to just travel.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Blurred Con as well one day. I know that they usually do that, and I think it's in DC or something like that. So I definitely love to check that. I know whenever NecoCon is here, they have like not a panel, but they have a booth set up where they show stuff that happens at Blurred Con. So it's definitely something that I would love to check out one day. I like how you said Dragon Con. I would love to check that out. I believe there's one called Colossal Con that I would like to check
I heard that. I heard Colossal Con.
But yeah, I wanted to ask you, with things kind of going back to normal, what are some future cosplays that we may see at some of the cons that are coming up?
Well, for sure, you will see the Sam Wilson Captain America coming up.
Nice.
Because we have here in Houston, we have a con coming up called Comicpalooza. That's the biggest con we have here in Houston, and which draws a lot of big names in the entertainment field. We had Anthony Mackie come here. We had Tom Holland come here, which drew a big crowd, huge crowd. We have a lot of big name actors and actresses and voice actors that come through. So that's going to be the first con I've gone to since 2019, because when 2020 hit, I was planning to go to cons, but then the pandemic hit, so couldn't really do anything. After that, we have another con coming up after that. It's called Matsuri, and I was actually invited to go to that one. I've gone there before, but it was a period where I didn't go for a while because I was trying to go to other places. But someone invited me to go back to do something, to possibly do a panel for them, and to do like a speaking panel where I could actually be a guest speaker. So I said, okay, cool, I'll definitely go.
Nice. So final question that I have for you is, to anybody that would like to get into cosplaying, what is some advice that you can give to them?
Just be yourself. Be yourself. If you love a character, regardless of what world they come from, no matter how they look, just be yourself while you're playing that character. Yes, you are trying to ignite that spirit, But remember, no character's off limits. You can be whoever you want to be, no matter how you look, no matter how old you are, what sex you are, where you come from in life, your finances. You can be that character. Just be yourself, your 100% authentic self, and it will shine through that character. Don't worry about trying to compete with other cosplayers, and don't worry about trying to be getting noticed. Just go out there, engage with people. Even if someone doesn't ask like for your photo off the bat, why don't you ask them for their photo? Say, hey, can I have your photo? Or just say, hey, I love your cosplay. Talk to people, engage with them, and then people will return that back to you. And then when you get that feeling of really being that character, bringing that character to life, then you can transfer that to another character. So overall, just always be yourself. Don't be someone that you feel that you are not.
Awesome. Hey, great advice. And to anybody that's watching right now, I hope that you listen to Charles's words, and I hope that it inspires you to get into cosplay, just like all of the other talented and amazing cosplayers that we've had on Who's This Cosplayer. Charles, I just want to say thank you again for joining me up here. It's been swell. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Now, before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at thechampcharles212. That's Instagram at thechampcharles212. You can find me there. You can find me on TikTok. It's the same name, at thechampcharles212. Those are 2 places you can find me.
Awesome. Thank you again, Charles, for joining me up here on a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. You know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. And you can look me up on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching a brand new episode. Like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.